Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying your Christmas this year, but if you don't celebrate Christmas, then I hope you're enjoying your Hanukkah or Kwanzaa this year. But if you don't celebrate those holidays either, then I hope you are enjoying your days off from work or school. I review films that either take place during Christmas or they're just movies I would like to watch around this time of year. And for this video, I am going to be reviewing one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. It's one of those films I would love to watch once a year, every year. And what better way to talk about a Christmas movie without wearing this Back to the Future ugly sweater with arrows on the sleeves? And that film is Die Hard, directed by John McTiernan, and it stars Bruce Willis as John McClane, a New York police officer that comes to California to see his wife Holly, played by Bonnie Bedella, and sees her at this Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza. And he tries to rekindle their love after going through some issues that they had, mostly relating to the mistakes that he made, which caused them to be separated for a while. But then that party is cut short when a group of terrorists break in, led by Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman, take over and take everyone hostage, including Holly. And John has to figure out how to stop the terrorists on his own and save all the hostages. And it takes place during Christmas, and in case if you're wondering, yes, I do count Die Hard as a Christmas movie, mostly because of the Christmas feel. It takes place during Christmas, they play Christmas songs a lot throughout the film, and the movie is just a fun time to watch during Christmas. I remember hearing about this film when I was a teenager, and I didn't watch the film as a kid. I only saw like little parts of this film and didn't realize that they were from Die Hard until later. And it wasn't until I was 18 when I finally watched it, which of course was around Christmas time, and I remember just having a blast watching it. And it's one of those films that I love to watch around Christmas once a year, and of course it spawned a lot of sequels, which there's the second film, Die Hard 2, which I thought was okay. Die Hard with a Vengeance is an awesome sequel, and it is my favorite Die Hard sequel, and I actually like Live Free or Die Hard. It's not great, it does have some issues, but it's still a fun watch, and I enjoy it overall. A Good Day to Die Hard was a horrible garbage fire that ruined the franchise for a lot of people, myself included. And this film remains the best one in the franchise, and it's not just because of the fun action and the cool characters and the great villain, but also for the tension as well. And of course, it's got some very fun quotes like, "Welcome to the party, pal. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho." Now I know what a TV dinner feels like. And of course, I cannot forget the most famous, "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon." And I know you're like, what kind of quote is that? That's not the line he says in the film. No, it's not. Not only am I saving like the F-bomb so that YouTube doesn't strike me for dropping it, it's also because the line "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon" was used to censor that line whenever Die Hard 2 would come on TV. And if you want, there is a video on YouTube of Die Hard 2 where it takes all the censored clips and they make them sound very hilarious that you can tell that they censored those curse words, including the famous "Yippee-ki-yay" line. So as you can tell, this is a movie that a lot of people really loved, and it's not just because of the fun action which is in there, but it is also for the tension throughout the film, because most of the film is John trying to get himself out of a bad situation, and he has to use his head to try to do so. Like in particular, there's this one scene where John McClane has to use a machine gun and his belt to try to jump to an air vent, while he also has to figure out what Hans Gruber is thinking and planning for how the terrorists are trying to kill him. And that builds up a lot of tension, where you usually see that tension being built up whenever John is talking to Hans through his walkie-talkie, and a lot of that tension slowly builds up until they eventually meet, and when they do eventually meet, that builds up to some of the best action sequences throughout the film. And that's a very interesting way to get our hero and villain to interact with each other, even though they really don't have any scenes together until halfway in, because most of this film is just them talking to each other in their walkie-talkies. And until they meet their dialogue throughout the film still builds up more the tension and the suspense. And what does help build the tension more is the direction by John McTiernan, who was known for making some of the best action films from the 80s and the 90s. Like, besides this film, he also did Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is, like I said, my favorite Die Hard sequel. He also did Predator, The Hunt for Red October, and The Last Action Hero. Now, John McTiernan isn't making movies in today's time because he no longer feels that passion, where unfortunately he had to see some other action films throughout the 2000s where he was starting to realize that they didn't make movies like this anymore. And unfortunately, to this day, they don't make movies like Die Hard anymore. Movies that just have tension, that build the action sequences, because most action films just want to cut to the action already. They wouldn't want to get to some more tension, but John McTiernan did. He wanted to do some more tension with his action films, but he unfortunately wasn't feeling it anymore because Hollywood wasn't doing that type of thing anymore. Now, we also gotta talk about Bruce Willis as John McClane. Now, the character does start out as a normal cop that just wants to be with his wife, and he can at times be a bit of a jerk, where we learn about that with some of the scenes that he has with Holly in the beginning. And he can also be a bit of a pain in the ass, but he's one of those jerks in films where you can't help but like him whenever he's making some of the terrorists mad. And that type of attitude makes McClane a very fun and likable character, and Bruce Willis definitely helps make the character likable, which shockingly, Bruce Willis wasn't their first choice to play John McClane. They were going for some other big name 80s actors throughout the 80s, with actors like Sylvester Stallone, Al Pacino, Richard Gere, Harrison Ford, Clint Eastwood, amongst many others. And they went with Bruce Willis, and his performance definitely makes John McClane a very fun character throughout the film, and a likable character as well. But what also makes John likable is that he is a cop that's trying to help people, and he wants to get them out of this bad situation. So he's one of those movie jerks with a heart of gold. And he's also a normal human being that can get hurt in a terrible moment. Like, he can get shot, stabbed, and accidentally step on broken glass with his feet bleeding. And it feels like John can get either hurt or killed throughout this whole thing. He's not a superhero. He's not invincible. He doesn't go in a truck and it flips like 100 times and he gets out of it perfectly fine with no broken bones or scars. Die Hard 5, what were you thinking? And that's what makes John McClane a great character, where not only is he fun and likable, but he's a normal human being that can get himself killed. But what also helps make him less of a jerk is that almost everyone around him is a terrible person. I mean, the terrorists obviously are bad people, but even the good guys like the cops and reporters are terrible people. And unfortunately, no one wants to help John throughout the film, except for Reginald VelJohnson character, Powell, who he talks to throughout the walkie-talkie as well. Then there's the villain of this film, Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman, which honestly, it was fun for me to see him play this character, because before I watched Die Hard for the first time, I only knew Alan Rickman as Snape from Harry Potter. I didn't see him as Hans Gruber until I watched this film, and Alan Rickman does a fantastic job as the character. The character is very smart, intimidating, and he's one of the best villains in this franchise. And every time he comes on screen, you can definitely see he's very intimidating. I love Die Hard. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, and it's one of my favorite movies, period. It has great suspenseful tension, it has a likable lead, a great villain, and it keeps you on your toes and on the edge of your seat throughout the whole film. If you have not seen Die Hard, I strongly recommend it. It is an awesome movie, and I still consider it a Christmas movie, even though that's been a debate for decades, and it's going to continue to be a debate forever. I'm gonna give Die Hard an A+. So guys, if you have seen Die Hard, what did you think about it? Do you think it's a great movie, or do you think this is overrated and you don't think it's a Christmas movie at all? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing, because it helps my channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you know what other videos I'm posting. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a Merry Christmas. Yippee-ki-yay, mother